So, you're thinking about moving to Bradenton, Florida, but you want to know the pros, the cons, the good, the bad. You want to have that insider information while you're making that decision. Well, that's what we're going to talk about today in this video. And stick around till the end. I've got one that I can't decide if it's a pro or a con. I kind of think it depends on who you are and what kinds of things you're looking for. So stick around to the end because you don't want to miss that. But let's get after it right now. If this is your first time to my channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in Bradenton, Florida, then subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market conditions in Bradenton and all of the surrounding areas. My name is Renee and I get calls every day from people just like you wanting to make your move here. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 9 months, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. All of my information is in the description box below, and I'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to Bradenton. Now, we're going to talk about some pros and some cons. I don't know about you, but whenever somebody comes to me and says, you want the good news or the bad news? Let's choose the bad news first. And the cons aren't necessarily bad. I think it just depends. But we're going to do the cons first, and then we'll hit the pros. And then we'll go after that one that I said I can't really decide, and I'll let you decide whether or not that's a pro or a con to you. So let's go. Okay, first up on the list is hurricanes. That seems to be the natural disaster of choice here in Florida, as you are all probably aware, and Bradenton is no different. Although we have not suffered a direct hit from a hurricane in more than 100 years, that's not to say that we have not gotten our fair share of damage and destruction from wind, rain, flooding, all the things. So that's something to take into consideration when you're looking at various properties. You want to make sure that if it is in a flood zone that you can get flood insurance. There are flood zones where you are not able to get flood insurance. That should be a huge red flag. If you cannot get flood insurance for that property, that's one that you definitely want to probably cross off your list. You want to know whether or not the area in general floods. We have some pretty bad summer rainstorms. Does the area just in general flood? Does the yard flood? That kind of thing. Those are all the things that you want to think about because those things do matter. And when you're looking at homes, whether or not they're going to flood in a storm, in a hurricane, where the trees are located, where the power lines are located, and all of that kind of stuff is definitely things that you want to take into consideration. Number 2 on the list is bugs and humidity. It is very humid here. And we have these little things. Of course, we have our regular bugs, spiders, mosquitoes, that kind of thing. We have these little things. They are called no-see-ums, okay? I do not know. They probably have a scientific name. I don't know. But they're no-see-ums, literally because they're tiny, and they bite. And I personally think that those bites are way worse than mosquito bites. They hurt, they itch like crazy, and it seems that some people are more immune to getting bit by them than that aren't. I, for one, get bit by them all the time. So that is something to consider. What's another bug that we have? Oh, we have what are called palmetto bugs. That's just a fancy name for a cockroach that can fly. So cockroaches are bad enough, but here we have cockroaches that can actually fly. So that's fabulous. So that's something to consider. Bugs, humidity. We know that it gets humid here. It's warm year round, but I think that actually goes on the pro side. So, but if you're not used to it, it definitely does take some getting used to. And we relocated here from California, Southern California, where it's dry, much more dry heat, desert. It took a little while to get used to the humidity and all of that. So that's something to consider. My next con is the traffic. So where we're located, depending on where you are in Bradenton and where you live, snowbird season hits hard and traffic can be a beast. So it's definitely something that you want to take into consideration if you are commuting anywhere, whether you're commuting Sarasota, if you're commuting to somewhere else in Bradenton, if you're commuting up to Tampa. Those are all things that you want to consider because you want to make sure that you are close to a road that you can get to that makes your commute easier. For instance, if you were commuting up to Tampa, you would not want to live in Northwest Bradenton because during snowbird season, it could take you 45 minutes to an hour just to get to the freeway. Not fun at all. So that's something that you want to consider. Also, and I don't know if anybody's aware of this, but it appears to be that for some cars, when you cross over into Florida, that little stick that's usually on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, it's called a blinker, no longer works. They just don't work. It's a phenomenon. I don't know. I don't understand it. My husband has that same problem. They just don't work. So if you, where you live, are already a non-blinker using person, these are your people, okay? Your people are here. Okay, our first pro is no state income tax. That is such a huge benefit, especially if you're moving here from an area that does have a high state income tax like New York or California. That's more money in your pocket, and it's almost like giving yourself an automatic raise right off the bat. So that's a huge benefit, and definitely something that a lot of people take into consideration when they're moving out here. Our next pro is our warm climate. We have more than double the amount of sunlight hours than you do up north. And that's great, especially if you're an outdoorsy type of person, because you get so much more time to spend outdoors. And along with that, of course, is the beaches and all of the outdoor activity. We have more than 1,300 miles of coastline. And I will say you can go from beach to beach, and they are all a little bit different. The sand's a little bit different, the water's a little bit different. And so it's just a great opportunity to experience different things. The East Coast and the West Coast is actually close enough together that you could literally see the sunrise on the East Coast and come over to the West Coast and see the sunset. I mean, what a great opportunity and a great way to spend a day. We also have lots of boating, of course, lots of great fishing. There are so many great charters. My husband and son love to go on fishing charters. They have so many great ones. The swimming, of course, and we have really beautiful preserves in Bradenton where you can walk, you can bike, you can take your horses. If you have horses, you can go, and they have nice, beautiful trails. They have paved trails, they have not paved trails. You can kayak through them, you can paddleboard through them. There's just so many things to do outdoors, and it's just so much fun. And we get to spend more time outdoors here in Florida than you would up north. Our next pro would be, we are known as the friendly city. So Bradenton is known as the friendly city. It has a lot to do, lots of festivals. We have a county fair here in town. We also have lots of art, lots of theater. Of course, Ringling is right over in Sarasota, very close by right to Bradenton. So there's lots of great culture in downtown Bradenton. There is called Village of the Arts. It's a great community where artists have gathered, and they live there and they work there, and it's just such a fun place to be and to walk through. You get to see all of the local artists and the art that they create and all of the different things that they create, and it really is a very friendly place to live. It really is the friendly city. It's such a great name. Our next pro is the proximity to larger cities. So you still kind of get that small town feel, but you're close enough to getting to Sarasota. You can get to Tampa quite easily. You can get to St. Petersburg and Clearwater very easily. And Orlando's only about a 2-hour drive from here. So there's lots of opportunity to go to bigger cities while you still live in kind of a small city. So the next pro is jobs. We have several opportunities, several large corporations that are here right in town. We have a couple very large hospitals. We have, of course, Tropicana. We have Bell's Corporation. We have Cisco. We, of course, have Amazon. So there's lots of opportunity for jobs here in town, right in Bradenton. And then, of course, you have an easy commute to get to other places. And so now, like I said in the beginning, the one that I can't decide if it's a pro and I can't decide if it's a con. I kind of think it's up to you individually. So you are going to live where people vacation, which is great. If you have family that maybe you're leaving behind, trust me, they will come visit. So you have opportunity for discounted tickets, discounted theme park tickets, discounted local attractions and those kinds of tickets. So that's a lot of fun, right? Now, next up on the list is downtown. Our downtown is a little bit lackluster. So if you're used to a downtown that's much more active, then this one is probably not going to compare. Now, there are some great restaurants, there's some great little coffee shops, there's some great shops and all of that. But as far as an active nightlife, It doesn't really have that. You are, however, close to downtown Sarasota and also downtown St. Petersburg, which both have a very active and very opportunistic downtown for you to get to. They're both just a short drive away. So not having a great, fabulous downtown is a little bit of a con, but there are some solutions for us. And the last con, I think, is August. Okay, so August. From day 1 to day 31, it is hot, okay? The entirety of August. It feels like you're living on the surface of the sun. Now, it gets better in September, it's better in July. August is just hot, okay? You just have to know that in August, you're only gonna go from air conditioner to air conditioner. That's it. You're not gonna spend time outside. You will literally sweat if you walk out your front door and walk to your driveway to get into your car. You will be sweating. It is hot, 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 hot. So that's something to consider. Now, that's not to say we don't have other hot months. As you know, we're in Florida. We have lots of warm days, lots of warm months, but nothing is quite as unbearable as August, in my opinion. Now, actually on record, it really is the hottest month in Florida. It's the most humid. And so that is definitely something that you just want to be aware of. We all kind of suffer through it. And like I said, you just got to move from air conditioner to air conditioner. All right, so let's move on to the good stuff, the pros. All right, our first pro, there's no state income tax. So more money in your pocket, depending on where you're moving from, that could literally be an automatic raise without having to pay the state income tax. So that's a great benefit, and honestly, a lot of the reason why people move to Florida from places like California and New York that have really high taxes. Having no income tax really does help. Sorry, no state income tax really does help. You do still have to pay the federal government. Our next pro is you have a warm climate. If you are an outdoorsy type of a person, Florida is great because we have probably double the amount of warm, sunshiny days than people up north. And now our final one, which I can't decide if it's a pro or a con. I think it depends on you. So that is the tourism impact. You're going to live where people vacation. So if you happen to be leaving family from where you're moving from, trust me, they will be here to visit. Also, you'll be living in the theme park capital of the world. That is Florida. On the positive side, you get discounted theme park tickets, you get discounted tickets to local attractions, and that's great. You also get to pick times in the off season where you can go visit those places where maybe we don't have as many tourists. So I think that one is kind of a toss-up. It's kind of up in the air. What do you think? Do you think that one's a pro? Do you think it's a con? I think it all kind of just depends. So what do you think? Were some of the pros on the con list for you, or were some of the cons on the pro list? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell for notifications so that you can be the first to know about the current market conditions in Bradenton. And let me know if I can help in any way. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, and I'd love to help you move here.